Well, today is one of those days after a lot of days. And amazingly, I physically feel better. This is going to sound crazy. I've been down this road before, and I have to convey it because there are some people out there, you know, might understand. And every now and again, you might cross the path with someone who just, so far, I don't know. It's coming to that point. It's making its way, but I've been wanting to say this forever, and I keep forgetting. But I think many of you have seen the movie Stand By Me. It's a short story from Stephen King, about the boys who go on an adventure in life, a coming of age type thing, like in the 50s, to see a dead body. And that's a weird thing. And of course, as a young adult, your ideas and thoughts of what you think that'll be and feel like, at first it's kind of just curiosity, because death is a curiosity. We don't know anything. That's a whole other topic. But there's a part in the movie after they've gone, I have to sneeze, on this trek, and I do look crazy. Sorry about the hair. After they're in the midst of their trek and they kind of hit some, pitfalls, because I guess they didn't anticipate it to be so thought-provoking, difficult, real. Our imaginations have a tendency to give us fantasy-like desires and what we think is going to be, we imagine, and that's another topic too. How we create these situations that haven't even happened based on thoughts and actions or ideas or stories of others that told, and our mind's so powerful it creates memories that didn't exist. But anyhow, okay, so they do their thing, and one morning after a hard night in the wilderness, Will Wheaton's character, forgot his name now. He's the one with the brother who died in the car accident, and he was struggling because each one has a family dynamic. But anyhow, his brother was very looked up to by the mom and dad because he was a football star or whatever, but Denny was killed in a car accident. But the family fails to realize that, the boy suffers too, as they blame him or think of him less or treat him less. They forget about him. They leave him like he didn't ever. Kids are resilient. They're really good at, maybe that's part of my life. Maybe I have this thought about this because maybe it resonates somehow. Anyhow, don't want to be emotional. Point being is that he's sitting on the train tracks the next morning, and he narrates. He becomes a writer in the future, but he narrates and tells the story of his childhood and the friends he had and how profound that was for him. So as he's sitting on the train tracks, everybody else is asleep, he's reading his comic book, and a deer comes up on the train tracks. And in the movie, he narrates and says that, it was amazing that the deer just stopped and looked at him, just looked right in his face. Somehow, that specific moment was connective to him. And I don't know, a realm of just really things that only one can understand within themselves. So my point is that part of the movie always reminds me of now when I see something or feel something that's so extremely extraordinary. And I always say this, I say I'm crazy because it sounds crazy. But he says in the movie that he never shared that with his friends. And he felt that he didn't need to, that sometimes you got to keep stuff for yourself. And sometimes you have to share those things. So, deja vu right now. These all moments sometimes, it's good to keep those certain things together because some people will never understand. And because those moments are sometimes just meant for you. Not everybody wants to hear these all moments, although I like to tell people these, but I've learned there's certain things that I don't have to say or do or be to know it didn't or did happen. And on a level of, and sounds crazy, I don't know. I cannot explain it. It's scary all at the same time. What does it do for me? It seems like I struggle a lot more, but you know what? I think that simply happens because it's hard to let go of things. It's hard to recognize. It's hard to admit. It's hard to accept. It's hard to take and embrace certain things and still feel like a whole person, that you won't be judged and all. Somehow on a level of our human speciesness, we all somehow have this innate feeling to not be crazy or to go with the status quo. And there's 7 point some billion people on this planet, y'all. And none of us are the same. We have a commonality because we are a species. We share things, and we also share certain thoughts. And that's crazy too. We are not unique. We're only unique to this planet, that we rule above the other animals. But we cannot be alone. And so, one of my point is that the uniqueness of it all is that I've become to learn that these feelings and these things are really there. You really do experience those things. And you don't have to explain it to anybody. You just know it. And I guess it's what you do with it. Sometimes I think people see and feel and do a lot of things and they just ignore it as it's not right to feel it or to experience it. No, and that's the interesting part, and that's the scary part, and that's the wonderful part. It's magnificent. And sometimes things are just as they are. The Bible is pretty kind of weird. It's got mysterious stuff. I mean, whether it's supposed to be a metaphor, maybe these people just didn't think that deep at that time like that. Maybe these, anything is possible. And God, we make things happen in our lives. With our energies, with our thoughts, and what we say. I didn't realize this. When people say, don't speak it into, because that energy, that vibration, that energetic level, that field of whatever, we make heat, whatever, we have an aura. Why do we think that's so weird? It's science. Can beget other energies. Some, like certain things come together and they combust and make into another whole energy, or combust and don't work. I don't know. And we know this more than not. We know intuitively. We just don't listen to it because it's so covered up by the surface living of wants, needs, and desires of nothingness. All of this that you see in front of you will not matter. And yes, you're supposed to live life and enjoy it. I mean, you're not supposed to just toil away or to give to others. Some of us are more capable than others to differentiate, and some of us differentiate but don't think any other way. And I don't know. At this point in life, I thought I knew what I wanted to do and what I wanted to hear and how I want to be, but it seems like I just know less. More questions, less answers. But I gotta stop pounding away on certain things. Sometimes things don't need explanation, and sometimes you gotta keep them to yourself, and sometimes it's okay. Because somehow it all comes back together in this way of, you just have to see it. You just have to recognize it. And don't look too far, because you'll know it when it happens. I'm beginning to believe this now. You'll know it. And each time you recognize it, it gets more and more apparent. Good, bad. It sounds crazy, but is it? I don't know. I had an epiphany today. All of a sudden, I've been upset for many, many days and very boohoo. And all that's done is, and somehow I just snapped at it, and I feel physically better. I'm not going to even try to understand it. I'm just going to go with it, because my Aquarian brain tries to stop and fucking understand everything, and that just kind of messes it all up, because it is what it is. And I hate that saying. It's funny, because a long time ago, I heard that saying, and I did not like it. It truly is. And that dynamic of it is what it is perplexing, because I'm analytical, and I kind of want to know the hows and the whys. I guess that's what faith is, to just know. Anyhow, on that note, it's 9 minutes in, and I just felt very moved to say that, because really me saying this out loud is more of a me understanding me. Sounds crazy. I mean, God, how can you not think it is? Look at my hair. It's not voodoo or whatever. It really is. Just sometimes sit back in a room and listen to all the sounds around you, the people that, I don't know. There's been tons of civilizations and tribes or whatever that we just, in this day and age, it's so different now. Even from when I was younger. I'm not that old, not really, but and the greed of this world and the greed of the human species will inevitably take it over, like it has each civilization. And I love birds. That's weird. There's a bird right there. So enjoy. I guess the point is that there's more to it. And within all the jealousy and all the surface living, there can be forgiveness. and there can be enlightenment, and no one person is better than the other person because they're enlightened or not enlightened. But if you can forgive and let go and move on, not carry those thoughts, angers, or ill wills along, especially when it's within yourself, because that's what I carry around. And it's very powerful because I do myself. I can deal with other people more, so it still hurts, but the detriment I give myself is stupid. I'm learning anyhow. 10 minutes in. Happy Sunday. I probably will not, never say never. You're talking to me. But I love you kids, and I say these things for you guys, especially because you are my offspring, and I have much, much faith in you. You were given something too, and it's never too late to mend. Oh, hell, we're already in December. My birthday's next month, and one day. I love you, Dad. I love you, sister. I love you, nephew. I love you, Mom. I miss everybody.